She was not a preacher. She had no pulpit, no platform, no army, no church, not even a microphone, just an apron and a prayer that split the darkness. They tried to silence her. Poverty pressed in. Fire nearly took her life. But hell made one fatal mistake. It underestimated the power of a kneeling mother. This is the forgotten story of Susanna Wesley, the woman whose prayers ignited the Great Awakening. Epworth, England. Winter, 1711. The fire came without warning. The thatched roof hissed as flames devoured dry timber. Smoke poured through every crack. Children screamed. Neighbors ran with buckets, shouting into the chaos. And in the middle of it all, one woman fell to her knees. She lifted her face toward heaven and prayed, "Lord, if something must burn, let it be me, not the children, not your word." That woman was Susanna Wesley. Her husband Samuel was nowhere to be found, imprisoned again over debt. Her home was fragile. Her resources were thin. But she wasn't praying to save a house. She was praying to preserve something eternal. Beneath the smoke and rubble lay seeds of revival, because what the enemy tried to destroy that day would one day set nations ablaze. Susanna bore 19 children. Only 10 survived infancy. She raised them in poverty. She taught them to read by the age of 5. She trained their minds and anchored their souls in Scripture. By candlelight, in a world that silenced women, she taught theology to boys and girls alike while the cold wind rattled the walls. While her husband preached polite sermons to half-awake congregations, Susanna began holding Bible studies in her kitchen. First, her children came, then a neighbor, then 5 more, then 50. Soon, more people gathered around her kitchen table than filled her husband's official parish. This was not rebellion, it was revival. Her secret was prayer. Every single day, Susanna would sit down and pull her long apron over her head, a quiet signal to the children that mother was praying. And under that apron, heaven and hell collided. She battled for every child. She whispered destiny into their futures. She prayed with such fire that the unseen world took notice. In the great cloud of witnesses, Paul leaned forward and said, "She prays like the persecuted." Peter watched in awe. No temple, no pulpit, no sword, and yet she is a general. Mary Magdalene smiled through tears. She knows, and the Lamb seated on the throne whispered, "Watch. The world thinks she is hidden. I call her fire." Susanna once wrote in her journal, "I am a woman not seen on earth, but heard in heaven." Her sons would later say they feared nothing in life except the silence that fell when their mother prayed. The enemy feared it too. Chains shattered. Generational curses collapsed. The air in that small home pulsed with expectation. From that kitchen she cried, "Give me not success, but souls." Time passed. Her sons grew. One became a missionary to the forgotten, the other a preacher with a voice like thunder. John and Charles Wesley would ignite the Great Awakening, birth the Methodist movement, preach to millions, confront kings, and write over 9,000 hymns that still shake sanctuaries today. But behind every sermon, behind every soul saved, stood a woman who once knelt beneath an apron and whispered, "Thy will be done." Saints do not always ride horses. Some sit at kitchen tables. As Susanna lay dying, John knelt beside her and asked, "Mother, was it worth it? The poverty, the pain, the prayers?" She smiled, her eyes fixed on something he could not see. "Child," she whispered, "we have not yet begun to pray." In heaven the scrolls were opened. One bore her name in gold, Susanna Wesley, intercessor, revivalist, general. And the king stood to his feet. This world does not need more famous preachers. It needs faithful intercessors, women who pray like warriors, men who cry out like prophets, homes that become battlefields for heaven. Susanna Wesley never led a revival meeting, but her prayer closet split the heavens. You don't need a pulpit, you need surrender. You don't need a stage, you need an apron. Because one hidden life, one praying mother, can still shake the earth.